Hey, this is Roger, signing in for the BFN, the Business Financial Network. And welcome to a very special podcast series we are starting for Women in Finance to celebrate International Women's Day in March. It's a huge pleasure to welcome the CEO of Corp, Misty Erbach. How are you doing today, Misty?
Great, thanks, Roger. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's an unbelievable Wednesday. It's a hump day. And today's my mom's birthday. So I'm excited to start this series. And considering the fact that it's 2024 and women have been fighting for gender equality in the business world for years. Can you share with us your personal journey in finance and how you became the CEO of Corp?
You got it. I also want to wish your mom a happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday, Roger's mom. Sure, I can share. It's kind of a long, windy journey, but I'll try to keep it high level. So I joined Cameco Corporation right after I graduated from university. They had an office in Darwin, Australia. So I got to go down under, work down there and explore for uranium for about 4 years. And then moved back to Canada. I was doing some exploration with Cameco in Canada here in the Saskatoon office. And then did that for exploration total for about 9 years. Was like needing a new challenge. So I decided to enroll in an MBA program. So then I completed my MBA in 2019 and I moved into Cameco's marketing and sales department, which was really different from being a geologist, but I was looking for that new challenge and it was a great time to try something different. So I did that for about 3 years. And then my good friend and colleague, Corey Bielek, asked me if I wanted to move over to Canalaska and help him and the team out with the Corp spin out from Canalaska. And now here I am running the Corp company. And just having a great time so far. So I would say out of my whole career, when I look back, the things that really got me to where I am today is just being really adaptable. Trying to make new changes, but also be adaptable throughout that. And just continuous learning, like always be learning. That's like one of my number one things is always be learning. Don't ever just be stagnant, So I think that's really important. And also just fostering relationships that you gather throughout your career. Really utilize that network that you create and utilize it to move forward.
Awesome. Yeah, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable is a huge part of success. And it seems like you've done an unbelievable job of doing that.
Well, thanks, Roger.
No worries. What are the challenges, right, you faced as a woman in the finance and mining industry, and how have you overcome them?
That's a loaded question. Since my time in the industry, I think it's come a long way, and lots of initiatives going forward with diversity and women in the workplace and moving women up the chain. But I would say one of the biggest hurdles that I faced was that unconscious bias. It's really hard to get rid of the bias that women aren't supposed to be in leadership roles and things like that, because it has been something that hasn't been around. And so, really overcoming the unconscious bias that we have. It's hard to overcome it, but just really try to be aware of it, I guess. And so whenever I was in a situation where I was like, right, I am a woman in a man's world, I need to remember that, was mostly, when I look back on it, was mostly, that unconscious bias coming into play and not so much, someone being a bad person,
Agreed. Yeah, no, that's key. That's key. Yeah, there is a lot of unconscious biases on Earth. Definitely, especially with human nature. And what initiatives has Corp implemented to support and promote women in finance within the company?
Right. So I recently hired a VP of exploration. She's a female. I know her. Thank you. I'm really excited to have someone else on the team with me. Her name's Caitlin Glue. She just joined me here the last couple of days.
Awesome.
And she's just gonna blaze trails in the nickel space. I worked with her at Cameco for quite some time. I've supported her throughout her career. She's one of the sharpest geologists I've ever met. Very cluey, and I just know she's going to do an amazing job. When I first started working with her, she was things really different than me, which I love. She challenges me on things, But I
Yeah.
just knew the moment I started working with her that one day her and I were going to go out and we're going to do something amazing together. So now here we are, two women conquering the nickel world. So we're really, really excited about having her on the team with me.
Unbelievable. And that leads into my next question. How do you see the role of women evolving in mining and the finance industry? And what changes do you hope to see in the coming years?
So I think one of the biggest struggles for me to step into this role was that imposter syndrome. You don't see a lot of women in CEO roles. There are more and more coming around now, but
Yeah.
it's definitely something that you're like, oh, well, that's something that a man does, you know? So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
what we need to do is really just start finding these really driven women that are kind of lurking in the shadows, that are
Yeah.
kind of afraid to make that step, and just push them and support them into getting up the
Awesome.
ladder. Yeah, and I
Very
think
good.
one other big thing is for me and my success so far is Corey Bielik at Kamalowski Uranium. He's been a great mentor to me throughout almost my entire career, from the day I landed in Australia, almost with Cameco, and he's really supported me throughout the transitioning into this role, and that's helped me a ton. So really, lots of men in leadership roles. Men need to become those cheerleaders for women and start supporting them and helping push them up the ladder as well. So, and just a disclaimer, Corey isn't the only man or person that's helped me develop throughout my career, and I just
Agreed.
think it takes a village in a way. So that's
Yes.
that's the other piece, to just give the support to the people that you think are that want it, I guess. Yeah.
That's awesome advice. That's really good advice,
And
actually. You actually already answered my next question. And looking ahead, right? What do you envision for the future of core nickel, and how do you see yourself contributing to that vision?
sure. So we're really new, as you know. We just spun out in November of
Mm.
2023. So short-term vision right now, we want to build out our nickel exploration company, build a great technical team, build a great portfolio, build up some targets, and really just be next level explorers in the nickel space. Yeah, and we also have a program coming up here Q1 in March, just after PDAC. We'll be boots
Yeah.
on the ground for our inaugural drill
Beautiful.
program at Halfway Lake. So we're really looking forward to that. That's a huge milestone for us, and we'll be hopefully March will be a really successful month for us with our first program.
You know what? We're really excited at BFN. I know a lot of the chat rooms have been really watching this deal as it's a brand new listing. You guys have a tight share structure. I'm excited to see what you guys are about to do. And thank you very much for spending the time with us today, Misty. And we look forward to seeing you again and hearing more developments about Core Nickel.
Perfect. Thanks for having me, Roger, to celebrate International Women's Day. And again, happy birthday to your mom.
Thank you very much. You have a great day.
You too.